After our war with the humans had been settled, we started integrating with them. They were surprisingly welcoming to us after several of their planets' rotations around their solar system. It did take a while. They call them years for things to, as they put it, calm down. They do not have the same mentality as we do, as we simply deal with the situation and change with it. However, these humans are a bit different. They don't change mentally, but apparently their equipment is designed so they can change very, very quickly out in the battlefield. When I started working with humans, they introduced me to their death orbs, which made all of us back up very, very quickly, as we all feared these death orbs. The humans laughed. Haha, don't worry, the pin's not pulled. It didn't matter to us. We didn't have the dexterity needed to use them correctly, so we wouldn't be using them anyway. However, we did get instruction on them. Though once we were done with the death orbs, we found that the humans had something else, a type of death and not so deadly cylinder. We were confused. During the instruction, they showed us the different type of cylinders that they use. These cylinders ranged from things that just make a loud noise and a loud flash, something to, as they put it, discombobulate. Is that even human language? I don't know. I think my translator is screwing up again. But they said it will stun, confuse, and make it impossible for you to actually operate inside a building, but it will not kill you. It will, however, allow you to enter the room and take down those who are discombobulated. What? I swear that is not even human language. They wanted to show us how it worked, and it was quite simple. It shows again the human's ability to throw things very, very well. Many times they simply bounce them off the walls. I asked them if this is how they stopped my kind. They laughed. Well, sometimes, sure. Other times we just shot you. They looked at me with some sort of strange look in their eyes, which I did not understand. They would simply look up at my antennae and seem to raise their shoulders quickly, then drop them, and then move on to the next thing. I wonder what is going on inside the humans' heads. As they kept going, they wanted us to actually see what happens if you don't time it correctly. We did not figure out why. But since this flashing, banging thing would go off, you had to make sure that you were inside to take care of the stun, because the stun was only for a few moments. And if you timed it wrong, you would have to consume the explosive. Hold on, my translator. My translator. Eat the charge. What the hell does that mean? Whatever. They showed as they threw this same cylinder inside and then ran inside immediately. They ducked their heads and turned them in a way that the actual blast would not quite hit them directly in the eyes or directly in the ears. However, even being outside the room, it was enough for us to know that we do not want to be anywhere near it. We could hear other shooting as well. This was, of course, what they call a shooting house, something where they can practice with their ammunition. But that was not the bad part. The bad part was when they took us out to their ranges. Their ranges are where they practice using other things. And we realized that we had got off easy when dealing with humans. They brought out some as they walked out with one of their cylinders, immediately pulling this pin that was out, that was retaining this spring-operated system. And then they simply popped a piece of metal off, which seemed to be spring-loaded, and then simply stood there. We all scrambled back, thinking it was going to explode, and then all of a sudden, ptss, out came a colored smoke. Another instructor stood there, popped off the same piece of metal, and then ptss, another different colored smoke happened. We found out this was for signaling or to secure things, because as we realized, as the smoke moved around, our vision was unable to see anything, really. We tried to use some of our sensors as well, but for some reason, as the smoke was very warm, and so warm, in fact, that they had to drop these cylinders, that we could not see through them through our optic lenses that were issued by us. We worried so much that, is this why they got so close? Possibly. Well, sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. It really depends on the situation. Sometimes things are so fluent you don't have time. Other times you just need just something in the way so you can move from point A to point B. These humans, where is point A and point B? Can you point them on a map? They seem to chuckle, laugh, or find this humorous in some way. And then they showed us the other cylinders. These cylinders scare us beyond that of the death orbs. They pulled up an entire engine compartment of one of their civilian vehicles. They pulled the pin on one of these cylinders, placed it on top, but instead of holding it, as soon as the metal popped off, they ran away, backing up about 5 to 6 meters. We were told to turn our eyes away quickly. We didn't know why, but we found out very quick as this very, very bright, very intense flame came out. The heat, even though we were 10 meters away, was incredibly strong. We waited until the sound of crackling ended and seeming like some sort of burning was happening. We were told to turn back around, and we got to inspect. This is an incendiary grenade. This is why some of your vehicles ended up not moving once we got close. Most of you were actually inside and didn't know why your engines immediately shut off. This particular grenade will burn right through any vehicle you have, anything we have. It burns over 6,000 degrees, more than enough to melt through anything you've got. This was horrible enough to even considering if this ended in one of the compartments with our personnel, it would simply melt them inside. They might have a chance to escape before the magazine exploded. Maybe, we did not know. But I resolved myself to never carry one of these. Ever. No death orbs for me. No death cylinders. None. I would never, ever carry them. Never say never, my instructor said. And he was correct. 7 of their planetary rotations later, we were facing another issue. This time, it was a type of pirates, a species that is very, very predatory. The Kanchaka. The Kanchaka are a very, very aggressive species, yet their size makes them not very threatening. However, they come at you, hitting your supply lines. They're very, very, very careful. As one of the humans said, they are very, very sneaky, and you should never underestimate the sneakiness. I still do not understand this, but I did find that when the Kanchakta came at you in groups, they came at you with weapons that were extremely strong, and for their size, they are very, very quick, so much so that the humans were even having trouble with them. They would end up hiding in trees, in other buildings, and eventually they had the humans pinned down, and I saw something that's to this day makes me shake. One of the humans pulled out a cylinder I'd never seen before. He pulled the pin and said those words that we never want to hear. Fuck this. He turned the corner, lobbed the cylinder around the corner, and it seemed to roll its way forward. And then as he bolted back, he just went, "Frag out!" We all ducked for cover as we all knew about death orbs, and this was enough to make any of us jump back and run a good 10 to 15 meters before even considering stopping. But then we heard the burst. And then we heard the screams. Oh God, the screams. We looked back and the whole area was on fire. Everything was burning. The Kanchakta started coming out of their positions, screaming, holding different parts of their body, some holding their faces, some of them just glowing with the heat that is coming off as this chemical, this whatever was in there, was burning through them all. I look at it and I still shake to this day. There is not a single one of my kind that sees this death cylinder and doesn't immediately start to go into panic. The humans call it a panic attack. Yes, the panic is attacking me, thinking of it. And as I stood there shaking, I could barely hold my weapon. A human walked up, pushed the weapon into my chest to steady it. Hey, it's only a little Willie P. Don't worry about it. Got the job done, didn't it? Oh, great maker, may we never, ever face the humans and whatever they can throw at us.